Alright, so this title might have some people really pissed, or people who agree, so without further ado, let's roll this intro and discuss my thoughts on the final chapter of The Promised Neverland. Alright, what is up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be talking about the final chapter of the Promised Neverland manga. I want to make this clear, I have not read all of the manga. I've seen the first season of the anime. I know some of what happens throughout the manga. I did not read the chapter before this, but I heard that this was the final chapter and I kind of wanted to see how it all ended, so I did go ahead and read this, and I gotta say, coming from someone who's only seen a little bit of this, and I got some details of what happened in previous chapters before this. This is really it's underwhelming, I gotta say. It's not the big kind of climactic finale I thought we would get, especially going off how well season 1 went. And one thing I gotta say, of course, people have known this for a while, but Norman is alive. For you anime onlys, I mean, we all kind of saw that coming. I feel like that was a very obvious thing. They didn't actually kill off Norman. But I read through this chapter, and I thought it was very rushed. It seemed like he was trying to get a lot of stuff in here, and try and wrap it up. Too fast. I feel like maybe a couple more chapters would have done this justice, but it felt very rushed. And this is coming also from a lot of my friends who do read the manga, and they say it is very rushed. And I gotta say, one of the things I think the idea of the sacrifice for them getting to the human world is her just losing her memories. I think that's kind of stupid. I don't know, I just I'm just not the biggest fan of that. I think they could have done way more stuff. They could have, done something interesting as a sacrifice for Emma. Doesn't necessarily mean having to lose her memories, or doesn't necessarily mean her having to die, which is where my first thought went when I saw an article from comicbook.com discussing Emma's sacrifice. I'd initially gone, oh shit, they just killed Emma. I'm shook. But as most animes, they really don't have the balls to kill off their main character, which I find a little in animes. It is what it is. Not that I want any character to die, I just think it happens a lot less than it should. I mean, it took Marvel like 22 movies to kill off, spoilers, to kill off Iron Man. It's been over a year. You should have seen it by now. But I feel they could have done something more interesting with Emma's sacrifice, like having Emma, I don't know, stay in the demon world, or the side of the demons, I guess. That would have been more interesting. We could have even gotten like a sequel manga if the original writer didn't want it. Someone else could have, with Emma just surviving in that world on her own. I think that would have been cool. Or like a little one-shot, that would have been really cool. But I think the fact that Emma pretty much forgot everything in the entire series, I think that's just pretty stupid, I'm not gonna lie. I wasn't the biggest fan of that. I thought they could have done something way better. Way better. Telling her everything that happened, it's never gonna be the same as her genuinely experiencing all of it. But I just think there's so many better things that could have happened throughout this. I know Mama had died in the last chapter, but I am glad that everyone has made it out alive, and they've all made it to the human world and escaped that terrible place. I mean, it is a happy ending. It is definitely the ending I thought we were gonna get for the show. I didn't think it would be in this way. I'm hoping for the anime they change this up. If not change it, give it a little more weight, make it not as rushed, maybe. But I know a lot of animes are kind of word for word from the manga. But I know The Promised Neverland does kind of, it changes things here and there from the manga. So I'm excited to see how they'll change up this ending, especially after how it's been received by a lot of fans. I've heard a lot of calling this chapter very underwhelming and very rushly paced. Definitely with this final chapter, I've heard a lot of that. But I just think it really, for me, has to do with I use quotes here, the sacrifice that Emma's kind of made. I feel they could have done something way more interesting, and that has way more of a sacrificey kind of feel, rather than her just losing her memories. where she can just be told everything that happened, and she can kind of get caught up on their journey, but it just won't have the same kind of weight as it did as her really experiencing all of those things than her just being told that she did that. It's kind of like a 51st dates thing, learning for the first time. Yeah, you'll still have the weight of it, but it wouldn't be as much, and it wouldn't be as impactful as her really going through all those things, as she now apparently doesn't know what Mama looks like at all, or any of that, which really does suck. But, yeah, the happy ending, everyone made it out. We got to see all of our characters alive and live a happy ending. So that is pretty much it. That's really what I got to say about this chapter. It's just really them the sacrifice thing and a little rushed, pacing wise. But other than that, not a terrible ending. I've definitely seen worse endings in my life, but still not the greatest ending. I definitely prefer Demon Slayer's ending over this. Demon Slayer had a great ending. Sure, that final chapter was confusing at first, but once you understand it, it's a really good goodbye to the series. Especially since the last chapter kind of served as a goodbye to our main characters. And that final shot. But what do you guys think of this final chapter of The Promised Neverland? Do you agree with me that they could have done something way better with Emma's... Oh, sorry. With Emma's sacrifices, or do you think they did it perfectly and this is the perfect ending and you're a fanboy? But generally, I'm just kidding about that. But what do you guys think of the ending? I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. And as usual, remember to like and subscribe. Twitter and Instagram will be down below. And as usual, I will see you weebs in the next video. Peace out.